Yo, 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 what's going on? It's the Fly Roadside guy checking in one time for the one. You know how we do. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Here today, I'm going to talk about being self-motivated and being a go-getter. Especially if you are seeking to become an owner-operator in the trucking business or the dump truck business specifically. You have to be self-motivated and be a go-getter. I've been in the business right now for about 8 years going on. I've been an owner-operator going on my 5th year. But I say all of that to say I wouldn't have made it through 5 years if I didn't have the self-motivation, if I wasn't a go-getter and able to put myself out there and go for the gusto. The dump truck business is not an easy business by no stretch of the imagination. So you got to be a self-motivator. You got to be a go-getter. I've come across people in the industry that, want to know how you get to work, looking for work, can't get their truck moved, a lot of times some of these guys don't even want to work. That's the sad part about it. Like, they don't even want to work. Like, you give it to them and they don't even want to work. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll just nitpick and complain. And, one thing I noticed about some truckers, man, like how I was in the automotive industry, man, like, we can be prima donnas too, like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes we don't want to go, you know what I mean, way out to the hoostar, for real, like, unless you're getting paid by the mile and you over the road, like, yeah, give me those miles, you know what I'm saying? But in the dump truck specifically, I mean, sometimes they say, hey, I got something that's going a little far. Offers on the table, do you want it? And those go-getters, such as myself, I mean, I don't want to necessarily go far all the time, especially when I started up and my truck wasn't in the best shape. Now that I've, risen up the ranks and, I'm able to pick and choose a little bit. You know what I mean? I've been in the business for 5 years. Once you work consistently with a contractor or a broker and they understand that you're reliable, dependable, will get to the job site on time, do what you got to do, don't damage no equipment. Once you and your company that you're working for, the broker, y'all establish a relationship and y'all get a rapport, and it's a business. You want to know you're going to get paid, they want to know they can rely on you and they can depend on you and you're going to be on time. And that's it. And as the driver, you got to, of course, maintain your truck. You know what I'm saying? And also watch out for obstacles, like I told you on previous videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's just driving, period. Like, if you're in your regular car, you need to watch out for obstacles. There's too many people just being distracted, by too many things out here. But if you're not a go-getter, if you're not somebody that's, willing to make the phone calls, give out your business cards, follow trucks, you know what I mean? Like I say, I followed trucks before, you know what I mean? Like I told y'all, I mean, you got people that's advertising on the side of the trucks. There's job sites around, infrastructure going up all the time. So you just have to follow the work. If you're somebody that's trying to get into the dump truck business, but nobody's going to hold your hand and give you the work all the time. You know what I mean? But don't be discouraged. I'm sitting here in my car making this video. I've worked probably one day since the week of Thanksgiving. Like, I think maybe the week before Thanksgiving, went to the week of Thanksgiving. Now here we are. I'm making this video is December the 5th. And I worked one day. But hey, I'm surviving, man, by any means necessary. Like I said, if I gotta get out there and DoorDash, that's what I gotta do. Somebody made a comment in one of my videos talking about, well, if you're making $600 to $800 a day, why would you go and DoorDash for $100? Man, shout out to my man Vic. There's one thing he said, it ain't enough money out there. You know what I mean? It ain't enough money out there that you can't stop getting the money by any means. You know what I'm saying? If it's easy money, go get it. You know what I mean? But shout out to that hater that said, why would I DoorDash even if I'm making $600 to $800 a day? Why not? If I go out there and make a quick $100, you know what I mean, and set my goal at, you know, my minimum of what I'm going to take, as long as it makes sense, then it is what it is. But shout out to that guy, you know what I mean, for leaving me that comment wondering why I DoorDash on the side. Because the dump truck business ain't always steady. You gotta have a side hustle. So, you know what I mean? I could Uber, but I don't want a whole bunch of people in my car. I've done that, you know what I mean? I'm from Baltimore, yo, you know what I mean? We used to hacking and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? So, I ain't worried about, you know what I mean, me hustling and doing my side shit, you know what I mean? I know how I do all that. But it's about being a smart hustler, you know what I mean? Working smarter, not harder. That's why I say, yo, I ain't going over the road driving no tractor trailer right now. Bump all that. Now, if I got to, then yeah. But right now, I ain't doing it. You know what I mean? Now, if it's specialized freight, like car hauling, you know what I mean? Oversized equipment, yeah. You know what I mean? I still got my CDLs, you know what I mean? My class 8. So yeah, you know what I mean? If the right offer presents itself, then by all means. But when it comes to this dump truck business, I'm staying within my 150 mile radius. You know what I mean? I like my insurance where it's at. I like keeping my fuel, you know what I mean, under, you know, $150, $200 a day. Anything above that, hopefully I done made a good day out of that. But yeah, man, you gotta be self-motivated. You gotta be a go-getter. You gotta be willing to put yourself out there. It's the Fly Roadside guy, man. Like and subscribe if you haven't. You want some more information. Anybody out there interested in getting in the trucking business, dump truck business, or Driveaway business, I still get some information, even though them horse truck movers, they tried to finesse a brother. Once again, you feel me? Once again, yo, like, so I ain't even rolling with truck movers, yo. I'm about to just get back on with Quality or holler at Bennett, you know what I mean, or Norton Transport, and just, you know what I mean, if I do go back to truck movers, it's just gonna have to be one of them situations. I just need a dispatcher that ain't gonna be trying to hold out. But this wasn't really a Driveaway truck movers video. This is about being a go-getter. But even in the Driveaway business, you gotta be a go-getter, and you gotta, you know what I mean, you working for yourself. You know what I mean? And this is pretty much what it's about, working for yourself, being a go-getter, being self-motivated, and don't, you know what I mean, be discouraged, because in moments of life, it's peaks and valleys, you know what I'm saying? When you go down, you can only go up. Like and subscribe, man. It's the Fly Roadside guy. I'm out.
Them tune out, man. You been living up. Them tune out, man. You been living up.